Sure. So, I mean, I think we have in the Nigerian and African communities, we have the whole range of the
Potential.
situations
Yeah.
that present themselves in immigration. So you have maybe people who've come from Africa to go to school here, so they are on F1s, and then students, and then they finish and they'd like to continue living here, so they have to get a job, and hopefully they can get an H-1B or they can get an L visa. Sometimes they are not able to find sponsorship, or they enter the visa lottery and they don't, not the visa lottery, but they enter the H-1 lottery and they don't get a visa that way. And so then they're looking to see.
Can you define for them what H-1 is?
Oh, so H-1B is a visa for certain categories. Like if you've gone to school for engineering, then you can find an employer to sponsor you to stay, and that has its own pathway to citizenship. But there's only so many congressionally that are given out every year, and so they do like a lottery type system, and sometimes students or professionals can find themselves not having one of those numbers, and then they have to figure out, well, how do I stay? Sometimes you can go back to your home country and try to apply again next year, but nobody wants to go back because you don't know that door is going to be open when you're trying to come again.
When we talk about your political opinion, things are getting really hot here, right? And we've seen people taken off the streets, students, with people with the hoods on their faces, over their faces. Kids are handcuffed because of their political opinions. But that's not something that I've seen here before. It's usually the folks who come here asking for asylum. That happens to them there. But watch out, it's happening here. It's a little scary. You guys say it's the same, but I've not seen anything like this. I really haven't.
You know, I was afraid of this administration, but this is not the first time that we've been here. And it was amazing to see the first Trump administration, attorneys rally around, attorneys push back, attorneys maintain the rights of the individuals, and that's what they're doing right now. That's what legal professionals are doing right now, maintaining our democracy. But in NAMC, again, we have many Nigerians, many immigrants, and so oftentimes I also get calls from people who would like referrals to others who can help them. And then in my practice, even though it's employment law for companies, I take pro bono cases for immigration, cases. I'm an attorney as well, labor and employment though, not immigration. So I do not specialize in immigration, but I am the child of immigrants. My parents came here to go to school, and then they just so happened to have me here. I'm so grateful to have birthright citizenship. And I have an older sister who is 3 years older than me, and she was born in Nigeria. So her path to coming here was completely different from mine. And we had to fight in the immigration system, and they applied, and you do things administratively, and then they say things wrong, and then you have to go above and do the things. So I know what it feels like to have to deal with immigration from this side, from the community side.
I think it's very important to get second and third opinions because different attorneys have different strategies. Everybody's case is different, so it's very important, especially right now. If you're not in court, immigration court, nothing is going wrong, now is a good time to get prepared just in case. Just in case. And getting prepared means getting all of your documentation together. As Judge Yates says, there's what's called cancellation of removal, and that's if you've been in the United States for more than 10 years and you're married to a lawful permanent resident or a U.S. citizen, or you have United States citizen children. There is a hurdle. You have to prove that the U.S. citizen or lawful permanent resident would suffer hardship. And the most reliable hardship is a serious medical hardship. And it doesn't have to be just physical, but also psychological. So documentation is very important, especially if when you're under stress, you have to prove that you've been in the United States for 10 years. And so trying to get all your documentation together, or God forbid, let's just say a husband is detained or a wife is detained, and then that you just have that one person that's trying to get all of this together, when you can be prepared and just kind of have things, if you, as a matter of fact, if you take the time out just to go and get a consult with an attorney, and just to find out what your rights are, they can tell you if you're eligible for cancellation of removal or any other type of relief that you may be eligible for, and that attorney should be able to tell you what kind of documentation are you going to need. To be patient and appeal. A lot of cases are won on appeal. So this particular environment does not intimidate me at all, because I started off practicing in a very difficult area of law. But it's so very satisfying, and the people that I have helped and the families that I have helped, I have been able to take people off of the bus who was leaving, and keep families together. I've seen men cry, I've seen women cry, but we have overcome a lot of difficulties.